Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And on the driveway is a nice range. Cause I'm trying through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ash, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Ash Knows Travel, where I share trainings, walkthroughs, and insider tips to help travel advisors build confidence and book smarter. And tonight's training is called Travel Agent Crisis Management: What to Do When Clients Have Problems While Traveling. Now, no matter how well you plan a trip, unexpected situations happen all the time, right? Flights get delayed, luggage gets lost, hotels make mistakes, weather causes all kinds of disruptions. We know this. And even emergencies can arise. The way you respond in those moments is what can truly set you apart as a travel advisor. So tonight, we're going to talk about how to stay calm using the calm method under pressure, who to contact first, how to communicate with your clients, and the steps that you can take to help resolve problems as they quickly and professionally rise as possible. Yeah. So if you're live here, go ahead and comment in the chat for me. Comment hello so I can see you. Hello, everyone. I see the chat here. And if you happen to catch this on a replay, I still want to know that you stopped by. So go ahead and comment underneath the video and comment replay so that I can say hello to you there. So tonight, I also do have a gift. So you want to make sure you stay to the end for that gift. And it's really going to help you kind of put everything together for any time these situations occur. So I'm very, very excited about that. But let me go ahead and remove this off my screen. And before we get started, let's talk a little bit about what I am doing for the rest of this month. Yeah. Today, we're doing a very big training. Next Tuesday is an even bigger training, how to get clients extra perks, upgrades, and special touches. That's a good one. Best supplier for all-inclusive resorts. I have a couple of them that I want to show you. The week following, we're going to do a Fix It Live where I'm going to be doing marketing makeovers for social media accounts. If you want your account have a marketing makeover, submit your account to me, okay? I'm also going to do a live travel Q&A in the middle of the month right before convention. Then convention comes. July 21st and the 23rd, I will be in Hawaii. So both of those recordings right there, my biggest travel advisor mistakes, and it's a live training replay of how I would start over. Those two are going to be pre-recorded lives. I don't have a choice. We're going to be in Hawaii and there's like a 5-hour difference. There's no way I can do that. But they will be new topics, just pre-recorded lives that I'm going to do. And then at the end of the month, I will be doing Ash's story time. And then the last day, last Thursday, we're going to be doing a Build It Live where I'm going to show you guys how to build a travel funnel. I have a team building funnel, but I don't have a travel funnel. So I'm going to walk you guys through it. We're going to build a travel funnel together that we will be able to kind of just, use, etc. All right. So that is what I'm going to be doing throughout the month. So make sure you guys tap that bell and make sure you subscribe so you get notifications when I go live. Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead and remove this off the screen. Travel agent crisis management. What to do when clients have problems while traveling. This is a very, very important topic. Can we all agree It might have not happened yet in your career as being a travel agent, but honey, it will, let me tell you. And a lot of us don't know what to do when it happens. So that is exactly what I'm going to be covering tonight, because I'm going to tell you something very, very important about clients. They probably won't remember every single part of their trip. They're not going to remember all of the good ones, all the bad parts. They're not going to remember all of that. They're just going to remember that the time that they had. But one thing that they will remember is if something were to have happened during that trip, the only thing that they're going to remember about it is how you handled it. And if you didn't handle it, they're going to remember that too. So tonight, I want to cover every single kind of part that might happen during travel. That way, if it ever happens to you, you know exactly kind of how to handle the situation, or at least start how to handle the situation. Okay. And hopefully get it resolved faster than if you would have done this on your own. Right. Now, tonight, I do have a gift, so make sure you guys stay to the end to see that one. And it's going to be basically everything that I'm kind of covering, but it's going to be in a summary. So if you do have a situation where something goes down, it'll be like a playbook for you so that you can go in there and kind of see where you go next. Yeah, you like that? All right, so let's go ahead and get started, shall we? All right, so travel is emotional. I just talked about the psychology of a buyer when it comes to a travel client. Their purchase is emotional. And then when it comes time to travel in itself, it is a very emotional process. Most of us have traveled at some point in time. Like I'm about to go to Hawaii, okay? We're less than almost I think 17, 16, 15, something like that. We're in the teens, okay? And that kind of pressure is a lot. It's a big trip, right? Okay, your clients go through that same process just like you do every single time. Even if we handle the travel for them, it's still emotional leading up to it when they first get there, right? And they don't normally relax till about a couple of days in. So there's a lot of emotions and just pressure that is put to them while they are traveling. While people travel for vacations, honeymoon celebrations, and family trips, there is still something that can go wrong, right? So it's very important that we learn about crisis management, and why it matters is because when something does go wrong, clients don't just lose time. They feel like they're starting to lose memories and they're wasting their time while they're there and all of that, right? Your role when it comes to crisis management is to restore that confidence and provide the leadership to handle any of those situations very quickly. That is the only purpose of your role. When they call you, they're going to be emotional, they're going to be alert, they're going to be frantic, okay? We're going to go through the process of how you can handle that. But the first thing that I don't want you to ever do is get defensive. Do not get defensive. It is not your fault that has happened. More than likely, it's not your fault. Sometimes it can be, okay? I'm going to give you a really good example. I have some story times that we're going to do later in the month. And one of those small little story times, shorten it. I had an agent one time, she was brand new, booked her first princess cruise, and she got them a deal, but the deal only covered 2 of them, and she put 3 of them in the room. And when she put the 3rd person in the room, she let them know, hey, you don't apply to this package. You need to go get your own drink package. Okay, that's what it was. They didn't listen to her. They were like, oh, you should have fixed it. It's not our problem. We booked the trip through you. But on Princess, you got to go and add it in the app. So it was a long time ago. They may have updated, but that's what it was. Okay. She refused to do it. She got on the ship. She kept drinking. And she got up to $1,500 in charges. They called Ron and everything, right? She refused to do that. And that whole entire thing was a whole process, and we got it handled for them. But regardless of what I'm trying to say, sometimes travel can happen and situations can happen, and it's not even your fault. Things can just happen in general because they don't listen, or they didn't do what we told them to do, whatever, right? So our job is to come in there and go, hey, let's talk about how we can fix this. That is our main role when it comes to crisis. So tonight, we're going to have an approach to the crisis, okay? I don't know if this is a legit thing. This is what I made up. It probably is so legit somewhere. I kind of changed the way it was written. It might be an entire method, but I changed the last part of it because that didn't work for us. So I kind of made it into a calm method. That way we can just calmly handle situations, yeah? So whenever a client calls with a problem, first thing that we need to do is collect the facts, access the situation, and lead them confidence, and then mobilize with the right resources, right? And this framework should be the foundation for handling every single client crisis. That is the first most important steps that we have to take in order to be able to handle these situations. So Let's go through the first one, shall we? Calm. Now, when we are on the phone, they're going to be calling us, freaking out and stuff like that. So we need to make sure that we are gathering all the information in between and just get something to start taking notes, okay? First thing that we need to ask them is, what happened? What happened? Now, not the dramatic story, not the angry story. I just need to know what happened. Next thing that I need to know is, where are you? Are you still on the ship? Are you at the resort? Are you on a plane? Like where, right? When did it happen? That's most importantly. And then who have they already spoken to? Any of the confirmation numbers? Maybe they have rebooked something that I don't know about. Already had it rebooked. What happened? I've never seen that. Okay, or maybe they already had a situation. Maybe they already got confirmation numbers, etc. There's several different things that we need to ask when it comes to that, right? And then lastly, are there other people traveling with them? Now, the reason why I asked if other people are traveling with them, because sometimes we don't do all the bookings ourselves, right? Sometimes other people will book alongside each other. And if they're booking alongside each other, I need to know that before I make any type of decisions, okay? The better the information, the better the solution. I try to get all of the information right then and there. I'm going to give you a prime example for this. I had a client going to cruise out of Miami. I booked them a flight the day before to go to Miami. Upon the day of the flight, it got canceled. It was that time they were canceling all the airplanes and all that in Miami. It was the day before the cruise. I was like, okay, what are we going to do, right? They already had a situation where they were going to get the money back. They already talked to Southwest, all of that. So I needed to be able to go in there and just rebook it. They had the money. They were like, just go rebook it. We'll fix the other part later. So I went in there. I had to research the best flight. I got them a cheaper one, or not cheaper. I had them a better one on Southwest. I rebooked it, had them go same day. They were good, right? But situations like that can occur all the time. And if I would have known that they already had everything fixed, I would be trying to fix it. So there's so many questions that we need to ask. We need to qualify them. Yeah. All right. So we collected all the facts. Let's move on to the second one, which is assess the situation. Determine what is the most important priority, because there are several different things that occur, right? Immediate priority should automatically be their life and their safety. Is anyone in danger? Is there any medical attention needed? If those two are going to be the issue, then they need to be solved first. Next, operational priority. Is there an airline issue, a hotel issue, a cruise issue, or an insurance issue? We need to figure out what the main person has for the issue, because it might sound like it's the cruise, but it's actually a part of the insurance on the cruise. Or it might sound like it's the hotel or the resort, but it might actually be a car rental issue. We need to find out exactly who is the supplier, who is the issue, and what's the main factor that will make the deciding factor for that situation, okay? Always determine who owns the problem before taking action. This is a big thing that travel agents miss. You guys will jump in there and automatically assume it's like the resort or it's this or it's that, but the whole time it could have been the way you booked it on Vax. Vax could be showing something different from the resort. There's so many things that can happen in these situations, so don't automatically assume it's the resort or the flight or whatever. It could even be the consolidator or the supplier that we used, okay? So we need to assess the situation once we've gotten all the facts. That way we can go in there and try to figure out who do we need to contact in order to fix this problem. Next one, lead with confidence, okay? This is very, very important. Even if you don't know the next steps, even if you're not sure, I want you to think of it. I used to work in the ER, so I think of it like in the ER. We never tell them, okay, you're going to be okay. That's the worst thing we can tell somebody in the ER, okay? So we don't ever tell them that, but we do tell them like, hey, we're going to work on our next step. I'm going to call and get this information for you. I will call you back as soon as I get the best information. Lead them with the next step, okay? Stay calm, communicate clearly, and then set realistic expectations. Instead of saying, I don't know, say, okay, this is what I'm going to do next. Once I do this, I will follow up with you and let you know what happens, right? Do not automatically tell them that something is going to happen unless you know for a fact that even I would get it in written fact before I moved on, okay? Do not ever promise them anything. Do not ever, if they put you in a situation where it's like, oh, you better fix this or you better that, okay? Do not guarantee something that you don't know for sure that you can give, is what I'm trying to get to, okay? You need to lead them with confidence. Sometimes things are out of our hands. When we quote somebody and it's the best quote that we can give them, but in our heads, it's like, oh, we need to try something else. We need to do something more. Sometimes there's just nothing more that we can do. Sometimes it's just out of our hands, right? So we need to have the ability to lead with confidence and provide a resolution that fits for their problem, regardless of how happy we are or they are with that resolution. Okay. We need to lead them with confidence to make sure that the problem is completely resolved. All right. Now, next one. After we do that, while we're doing that, we're going to mobilize the right resources. Now, you guys can feel free to screenshot this. I have it in the packet, but the reason why I pulled this up is because I want to show you guys how many different ways that this can kind of go. All right. So let's just say we have several different scenarios here, but in this situation, we need to mobilize to the right resources. We need to know who to contact first. So if they miss their flight, you need to reach out to the airline. If they have travel insurance, then we need to get that travel insurance set up. Right. And next part, we need to update the client because sometimes they have to go up to the counter and get some problem solved too. There's several different ways that an airline issue can be handled. While we want to get ahead of it, sometimes they have to talk to them in person. So we need to figure out one, if it's an airline, okay, we got the airline set up, your flight's rebooked. Now, do you have travel insurance? Okay, you do. We need to make sure that you can get comped for this, or we need to make sure they rebook the flight, they cover it, etc. Right? Several different things that need to come into that airlines when it comes to travel insurance. But lastly, we update the client. Now, package vacations, first thing that we need to look at, anytime you guys are trying to do like a supplier, like VAX, vacation access, pleasant holidays, classic vacations, you 90% of the time have to go back to the supplier before you ever head over to the resort. So the first place that I look at is what kind of issue is it? Do I need to contact VAX or do I need to contact the resort, right? And then if all else fails, we can also reach out to the transfer company. We need to figure out which part of the problem lies within that package, right? Hotel issues, we could talk to the hotel front desk. That's normally where the client starts. We could do hotel reservations and then even go to the vacation supplier. Medical emergency, always emergency services automatically. I wouldn't even don't even call me. Call 911, figure that out first, and then call me, right? Then we need to talk about travel insurance because they're going to contact us if they have an issue and they use our 10 leg. Now we need to figure out what's the next step, right? We need to log into 10 leg and tell them how to claim their policy and then reach out to emergency contacts or whatever they need us to do if they're international. Next, cruise issues. Automatically reach out to the cruise line. If you use a multi-vendor like Cruising Power, if it's not an actual booking issue, you still need to reach out to Royal Caribbean or Silver Seas, whatever you use, right? Then if it's an issue where they're going to miss something or lose something, we contact travel insurance. And then if all else fails and we have a really serious issue inside the port, we need to talk to port agents. That's how deep it can go, okay? There's several different people that we can reach out to, but it really kind of lays down to the situation. What about if we lose our passports? Now that's like the worst thing ever, right? It happens. The police have to be contacted. If they lose their passport, they have to be contacted to report it stolen. You have to report your passport stolen. Then they have to go find the embassy or the consul. Hopefully we can find it for them. And then lastly, we need to make sure we talk to the airline. If you guys lose your stuff while you're in travel, sometimes they will have certain requirements that you can go and do in order to fly back to the United States, back to whatever. You have to go to the airline and talk to them directly to see what they will take in order for you to fly, okay? I've actually never had that happen, but I do have a friend that lost her driver's license. She lost her wallet while we were in California back in January, and she had to submit a bunch of stuff in order for her to be able to fly back home just to Miami. So I can only imagine what it would like to be international, right? But there is a lot of processes that go into hand if something like that were to happen, because it's a really big deal to lose your passport, okay? Next, payment issues. First thing, we always go back to the supplier. Everything should be paid for while we're leaving, but sometimes there could be payment issues, like if it didn't connect to the hotel, maybe they require a bigger deposit, whatever that is, okay? We always make sure we first check with the supplier, and then always, of course, let the clients check with their bank account, whoever that is. And then we also need to check with the hotel or maybe the cruise line, whatever, right? But there's several different people that we can contact for payment issues, okay? Contact the organization that has authority to solve the problem. That is the biggest thing that you can do. So first, that's the whole part of the calm method. We collect those facts. We assess the situation, who owns the problem. We lead the client and saying, hey, this is our next step. This is what we're going to do. And then we mobilize it. We pick the solution. We contact them. We try and get it solved. If that doesn't solve it, we move to the next solution. Try that to get it solved, right? But this is the most important thing when it comes to handling that crisis. It's not having the most perfect, accurate information. Things change. They understand that. It's not saying, oh, you guys, there's a fee now. There's something, okay? They understand that stuff like this happens. It's not going to be an issue when you come to tell them, like, if something happened and there's a charge or this or that, right? Travelers typically expect that. What is really going to hit them is how you handle that situation. If you call back and you're like, I don't know, we'll see. I'll let you know what happens. Okay. I don't trust you at that point, right? I need to know, okay, so we have a problem with the resort. Let's just say we get there and come to find out it's not all inclusive, even though it said it was. That's never gonna happen, but we're just making things up, okay? So now what do? Now we got to call back to the vacation supplier and say, this is what you guys promised inside your deal. It's not there. Once they verify it there, I'm gonna call the hotel and say, hey, this was a part of their payment plan. They booked the all-inclusive part of it. We need to make sure it's included, right? And then I go down the line. Regardless, okay? We need to make sure we find out who owns that situation so we can solve it as quickly as possible. And then if all else fails, and I mean all else fails, reach out to Archer or whoever your host is. Maybe you don't have Archer as your host, but you should, okay? I'm just saying. If you want it to be your host, just contact me, okay? But whoever your host is, here at Archer Travel, honey, Ron Archer will call you directly, okay? I don't know about your CEOs, but our CEOs, they'll call us directly, okay? They'll be like, let me help you, okay? Love that. But whoever it is for your host, make sure you reach out to them if all else fails, if you cannot solve it on your own. And then past that, sometimes we have to go either as far as BDM. One time I had a booking on Royal Caribbean where they had a $50 credit, onboard credit. When they went to sail, the $50 onboard credit did not show. So I reached out to Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean said, hey, you don't have proof of it. We can't help you. But I did. I did have proof of it. I had a picture of it. So they didn't like that. So they kept trying to tell me I needed to email this person, email that person. I didn't have time for all that. They were already on the ship. So then I reached out to Archer and I was like, hey, I really need help right now. And then you know what? I happened to get in contact with Ron. And Ron was like, I got you. He hooked me up with the BDM and then $50 was deposited into their account later on that day. Okay. I'm just giving you guys examples. Don't automatically go to Ron. Okay. But it can go that far and it's okay if it does. We have the support that we need. We also have errors and omissions liability insurance. Sometimes that has to be filed on our behalf. We have all the way through that and you would have to go to Archer for that too. Okay. There's several different solutions that we can offer the client, but don't be afraid to kind of get that situation handled on your own through one of these. And then if all else fails, reach out to your host so they can help you. Okay. Now, continuing. When should you contact your host agency? There we go. Your host agency supports you. So you guys can contact them when you don't know who owns the problem. That's a good time to contact Archer, especially if it's like a cruise line. Peggy can help us out. Supplier escalation is needed. When I had that situation with Royal Caribbean, I had to escalate it because I'm not going to argue with Royal Caribbean over $50. Put that in their account, right? Okay. Contacted Ron. It was deposited the same day. Okay. Commission questions arise. Anytime there's a commission issue, we automatically will reach out to Archer. But let me tell you guys something. Screenshot everything. Screenshot always. I screenshot every single part of that booking all the way down to the terms and conditions. I screenshot everything and I have it all put together in a folder because we do not play games, especially if there's something that's like a promo and they're like, yeah, we'll give you this promo. Okay. I'm going to screenshot it the entire way through. So if my clients get there and that promo is not there, then we need to talk, right? Agency policy applies. You just need guidance in general. Archer's great for that. Or you've exhausted your normal options, right? That's what I meant. If all else fails, then we reach out. Okay. But the biggest thing that I don't want you to do is try to solve this on your own. Ask your mentors, ask your leads, whoever it is that you have your upline for, reach out and get help, okay? Do not be afraid to get help because you shouldn't have to do this alone when it comes to these crises. We've all dealt with this, and the person that is probably above you probably has already dealt with it. So make sure that you reach out to everybody when you actually do need the help that you need, okay? Now, real life scenario. I'm going to give you guys some examples. Flight canceled due to weather. Oof, this is so chaotic. Okay, your client is stranded at the airport. They're upset and they don't know what to do. To control this entire situation, the first thing that we're going to do is stay calm, gather the information. We verify that they contacted the airline. A lot of them are already in person. So if they're in line, great. If not, okay, let me contact the airline. If not, well, we can assess them. We can get them in front of them, whatever we need to do. I try to contact the airline before them, but if they're already in line, then I just let them be in line because I get it. Okay. Next, we review the travel insurance benefits because if there's a delay, like if the flight was canceled, they might have to get a hotel, right? If they have to stay overnight. If the flight was rebooked, they might have had to pay for the rebooking and then they get the comp, or they will get a comp credit, or they'll get some kind of travel voucher of some sort. Like whatever it is, we need to make sure that they get some type of benefit if the flight was canceled. I always try to get benefits of some sort, okay? Explain the next step to them. And then lastly, continue following up until they are home. Your greatest value, guys, listen to this. Your greatest value isn't always fixing the problem. It's making sure that the client never feels alone. Our job is to advise them on how to travel. We acknowledge that things happen that are out of our control. We get that, right? But we need to make sure that they still feel like in our corner and that we're still helping them regardless of what happens to them while they are traveling. Yeah? Crisis creates loyalty. If there's any experienced advisors here, Heather tells me about a situation she had the other day where she was, what happened, Heather? They were on a cruise and then their flights, they got the flight package messed up and she had to go through all of that. And then she ended up still getting a lot of reviews and even a referral out of it, right? Clients understand that sometimes it's out of your control, but they just want you to show up. They want you to show up and they want you to help, okay? Some of your clients' strongest relationships will begin after something goes wrong because of how you handled that situation. Clients remember advisors who stay calm, communicate often as possible, advocate for them is a really big one, and follow through with the entire process, okay? Service during difficulty moments creates long-term loyalty. Can we all agree with that? And also, can we agree that looks like I'm sitting in this chair? Like I'm relaxing. It's behind there's actually an old man, but we're not going to talk about that. But service during difficult moments create long-term loyalty. If you fully take care of your client like it's you traveling, they will rebook with you and they will refer you to other people. All right. Now, build your crisis toolkit. Okay. I have it here for you. But before your next booking, I want you to organize this. Okay. What I'm about to give you. You need to have some supplier emergency numbers. If you're constantly using VAX, get all the VAX you need. Get all the numbers, get whatever you need for that situation. Airline contacts, hotel contacts, travel assurance assistance, cruise emergency numbers, transfer contacts, embassy information, client itineraries, okay? When I start doing stuff like this, it's something that I've built over time. I don't have it all written out. I don't have it perfectly played out. But along the lines of when I run into a situation, I start collecting that information and it's in my notes. In my notes on my phone, I have an entire what to do and I have it all filled out from just clients that I've traveled over the past. And then I keep up with that information. Okay. That's what's going to happen to you when you're building your crisis toolkit. The best thing about being in the travel industry is you don't need a lot of experience, but you will gain a lot of experience when your clients travel. So as you guys have your clients traveling and you run into these situations, start building your crisis toolkit. I'm constantly booking Cancun. So I have all the information that I need for Cancun because I'm constantly booking there, right? That's how you build it over time. But of course, preparation creates confidence. So I don't want to just get you started empty-handed. I got something for you. Okay. Free travel advisor crisis book. Yeah, we like that. Okay. It has everything that I talked about today. And we have an engagement deal here. So if you guys want this, I'm going to show it to you in a second. But if you guys do want this, all I want you to do is comment crisis to receive the guide. Yeah. Now, in the live right here, you guys will comment in the chat for me. Okay. Comment crisis. If you happen to watch this later on a recording, make sure you comment underneath the video so I can come in there and drop the playbook for you. Okay. So let's go in here. Let me show it to you. Travel Advisor Crisis Playbook. So it has the call method in case you guys forget, because you're going to be frantic when the situations happen. So I wanted it to lay it out for you. So then you can go in there and assess the situation. Is there immediate danger? Lead with confidence. Mobilize the right results. Now, the reason I write all this down is because I know you guys know this, but when we're in these situations, we're going to forget. So we have to have something that's going to kind of drive our memory and be like, okay, what do we do now, right? That's exactly what I want you to do with this. Now, Along with this too, I just want to say I give out so many documents. Put this into add another tab to your digital command center and put this in here. I promise it will save you a lot of time and effort when things go down. Yeah. Emergency contact planner, airlines, vacation suppliers, cruise lines, whoever you're using, host agency support. You guys should already know. Get Archer's number in there, 818-248. Oh, snap. 1511. Oh, I almost forgot. 818-248-1511. Put that number in there. All right. Embassy consult information, whoever you need. You guys got that. Crisis document log. I like to do this because sometimes I forget what happens. So sometimes I will kind of fill that out. Also, if you want to put it in your Google Sheets, it'll look like this. You can put that in there. And then if you guys need case numbers, etc., you need something to write it down. That's why I put all that in there. Okay. Common travel problems. Flight canceled. Hotel doesn't have reservation. Lost luggage. Look, I got you guys. Lost passport. Medical emergency. After the crisis, what do? We confirm it's been resolved. Check with client. Document the outcome. Request feedback. Save the case number. Note lessons learned. Yeah. And then final reminder. Clients don't expect perfection. So stop trying to be perfect. I'm going to tell you that right now. They don't care about you being perfect. They expect someone who will show up when they need help. That is what your job is. So do it. Okay. The way you respond during difficult moment can turn a stressful experience into a lifelong client relationship. Stay calm, lead with confidence, and you got this. All right. Now, I put that with there so when you get to the bottom, you feel a little bit better. Yeah. All right. So if you guys want this, go ahead and comment crisis in the chat for me so I can put it there for you. Let me come back over here and share this tab instead. And then let me head over to my studio real quick on my other screen and drop it in here for you. All right, you guys should have it, yes? So if you guys like this training, make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you, of course, subscribe and tap that bell. And then let's go ahead real quick. And I want to talk about what we're doing on Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be a fantastic training, yes? I'm so excited to talk about all the different things that we will be doing. Oh, not this. So sorry. I meant to do this one right here. But make sure you guys hop back on Tuesday, where I will be doing, what is this right here? Tuesday, July 7th, how to get clients extra perks, upgrades, and special touches. Okay. So make sure you guys join me back on July 7th on that Tuesday. So I will start talking about that. And of course, if you guys are with Evolution and Archer, I have the second part of my training. It will be tomorrow, actually. The second part of my training is tomorrow. And then it's going to be not just about how we make the short form videos. We did that last Friday. And then this Friday, we're going to do how to handle when somebody comments on your videos. Yeah. How many times have we had people comment and then we go, oh my God, what do I do? Okay. We're going to talk about how to take them from commenting on your videos to convert them into actual bookings so you guys can learn about that conversion factor after they comment. All right. So make sure you guys join me tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific on corporate Zoom. If you're with Evolution Archer, I will be there. And if not, hop back on Tuesday, where we're going to be talking about how to get upgrades for your clients. Yes. But for now, I will be heading over to my studio where I'll meet you guys in the chat. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys go ahead and leave them there. And if you haven't already, like this video and share it with your teams so they can learn what to do and how to handle crisis and all different types of things that we have to manage. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to head over my chat box now and I will meet you guys there. And I will see you guys back on Tuesday.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, grow hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate at cadence. So flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up when you're gonna ride in the sun. Step 2, get something good, something over you. Step 3, grow hard, what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Thanks, everyone. You all have a good evening. I will see you guys on Friday on corporate Zoom, and I'll also see you guys on Tuesday back here. I'll be talking about how to get clients extra perks, upgrades, and special touches.